I see a lot of people on YouTube doing car tours, right? But they're showing off their brand new cars. Now, I don't own a new car, but I also want to do a car tour. Why? Because I am so grateful for the car that I do own. Welcome to Bare Pantry Talk. This is the sister channel to the Bare Pantry Show. This is where you're going to find honest reviews, exciting unboxings, do-it-yourself projects, and engaging commentary. Alright guys, before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can know when I upload another video, alright? So let me tell you what gave me this idea. It wasn't just watching other people car tour videos. It was going through this thing right here. I have this picture box thing from yesteryear, see? You turn it like that and you can see the pictures that are in there. And I just found it. It's all dusty. I didn't even wipe it off before I did the video. But I found a lot of old pictures in here. Take a look at one that I found. Little Jada as a baby. And then Jada with the boys down below. So it's all dusty. Let me set it down. Because I pulled two pictures out of it. And the two pictures I pulled out was of the two first vehicles that we made car payments on. This is one of them. Can you see behind me and the children? That's a van, a Chevy Astra van. I think it was blue and gray, if I can see correctly. Yeah, this is when we used to live at the condo. The boys were small. They were like 4 and 2. And that's the first time that we decided that we were going to make car payments. So it was a used car, of course. I don't know what the year was, probably 1980 something. I don't know. But this was in the 1990s that we were buying it. We bought it when it was pretty old. And I don't remember what the payments were. I want to say like $200, $189 a month, and it was like for 2 years. This van was a piece of junk, and we, I think we paid way too much for it, or the interest rate was way too high, but that was the only way that we could get something nice and graduate up from the crappy cars that we had. Now, it was a piece of junk because you constantly had to just check the gas and fill it up with oil. We took a trip to Killeen, Texas when we owned this van, and we had to take a case of motor oil with us, and we used the whole case going and coming, all right? So eventually, I think we traded in this vehicle, and we got this brand new baby right here. This is a teal Chevy Astra van. I believe this was like a 1995. Yeah, I think we got it like in the fall of 1994, but it was a 95. I think that's what happened. And we paid on this car for 5 years. So I keep calling it car, but you can see it's a van, right? I'm going to use it interchangeably, car and vehicle. So we paid on this for 5 years, and then we owned it outright. We kept it another 5 years, and then later on we sold it to buy Joe's first set of hearing aids, you know, because we knew that Joe needed hearing aids and we couldn't afford it. So that's what we did with the money. So this was a vehicle well served. Now, in the beginning, this vehicle had a problem with the master cylinder. It had a big gaping hole, even though the vehicle was only like 3 months old. And I had a lot of trouble getting it fixed under the warranty at Rotolo Chevrolet here in town. I had to take it to Mark Christopher. I bought it from Rotolo, and then they fixed it, and then Rotolo had to come back and apologize. And then after that, since then, I think I can say, honest to say, that their service has improved quite a bit. So this is the first two vehicles we made payments on. We did make payment on a little car at one point, but I don't want to put that in this story because that was just to build our credit. We just paid on it 6 months. We had the money to buy it, but we just paid on it like 6 months to build our credit back then. So I don't want to count that. These are the ones that we made longer term payments on. So after we got rid of the this van, so we had it from 1995 to 2005, we bought a Chevy Suburban. Oh my God, that was the best vehicle. I made a stupid mistake for leasing it, and we leased it for 3 years, and we paid $3 something a month payment on it. But in the end, I should have renegotiated out of the lease and just purchased the vehicle, even if it took me a while to pay for it, because it was a very expensive car. I should have just, you know, paid it off and kept it because it didn't give us any kind of trouble in the 3 years, and it was such a beautiful car, and I absolutely loved it. The one flaw it had was that it was so big. The Suburbans are so big, right? So then the next vehicle we upgraded to, we leased again. We turned that one in and did another lease. We did a Tahoe, and Joe absolutely loved the Tahoe, and I loved it too because it was smaller than the Suburban. But the Tahoe gave a lot of trouble because it was a 4-wheel drive, and it had a flaw to where it would jump into the 4-wheel drive on the blacktop, you know. So we eventually had to get that fixed. And what it needed was a brand new transmission. So now let's get off of, let's get into why I really am making this video. I want to tell you guys the two things that I've learned when you're going to purchase a car on payments, okay? So the first thing that you need to know is that in the negotiations, you have to find a way to walk away from the negotiations, not even in anger or anything like that, just to walk away. Even if it's to go use the bathroom or to go outside to get a drink of water, what I usually do is tell them that because Joe is hearing impaired, that I need to take him outside for a quick conversation to make sure he's heard everything they were saying and to make sure that he's on the right page with me, because sometimes I can't read his face or read his mind as to whether he likes a thing or not. When we were buying this house, we took a look at several houses, and I would, find all the benefits and the flaws about each house and kind of put it into categories to see if we can live with the flaws. And Joe would act like he loves the house right there in front of the realtor and in front of the people who are selling the house. And then when we get into the car and I go, okay, let's list the benefits and the negatives. And he'll say, let's not. I hate that house. And I'm like, good God, I couldn't read your face in there. He has a really good poker face. I can't read it. So I'll tell him that I have to step outside to talk with him. And part of that is true. I do need to step outside to talk to him. But part of it is a game to where I have to walk away from the negotiations, because that's how they're going to come back and give you even more incentives. So that's one thing that I learned about, when you're going to make payments on a car, or even when you're going to buy the car outright. You always want to walk away so that you can get a better deal on the price. But when you're going to make a car on payments, or when you're going to make payments on a car, what you want to do is take your calculator with you. You want to do this before you go there. So let's say, for instance, the car costs $45,000. That's the price of an SUV, right? What you want to do, I learned this from Susie Orman off of TV. You put in the price of the car, so it's $45,000. Did I totally just get sidetracked from what I was doing with this car tour? I'm gonna tour the car, and you divide it by 36 months, which is 3 years, and that's gonna be your payment without interest. That's $1,250 for your car payment without interest. Now, what they'll do a lot when you go buy a brand new car like that, they'll divide it by 72 months, which is 6 years. And your payment is still $625 without the interest. So if you have bad credit, just add another $200 onto that. So that's $8 something without the insurance, and that's what you're really going to be making on a car payment. So a lot of people don't think this through when they go buy a car, and I didn't too back in the olden days. I mean, I thought it through when I bought the van, because the van was only $20,000 and I paid for it over 5 years. The reason why Susie says you're supposed to pay it over 3 years is because it's depreciated so badly after 36 months that it's not worth the payments that you're putting into it. You guys get it? So, of course, you might say, well, the hell with you, Barbara. I'm going to take 5 years, 60 months or 72 months, and I'm going to get me a nice car. Just keep in mind that the warranty will wear off like after 3 years, and then you're on your own to find your own warranty. Okay? So either get a cheaper vehicle or, try to put down a bigger down payment when you're buying the vehicle, like making payments. So those are the two important things that I would say that I've learned when buying a vehicle, brand new on payments. And, if you're just going to buy it off the lot, like this Jeep that we bought after we had to turn in the Tahoe, we bought this Jeep outright, $3,800. We kept it for 4 years until we could save money to afford another Tahoe. And that's the vehicle that we own right now. And I'm going to pause so I can give you a quick tour of it, okay? This is the cheaper version of the Tahoe, so it doesn't have that that rest in the middle. It has an extra seat, so it seats 3 in the front here. The middle person, of course, has to be tiny, and it has a really good sound system in there, because that's what the guy that sold it to us was doing. And he keeps the parts to hold the bikes onto the bike racks. This my sister gave me, and I'm trying to find somebody who's homeless or displaced to give it to. She was gonna give it to the Salvation Army. And then right here we have the helmets. This window is already fixed. He had to change out the arm. This one's not fixed yet. This is why he has the screwdriver to hold up the window, but he has the part. So we just have to come in here and fix it. I don't know where this part went to. And I keep jackets, extra bags, because we have to pay for bags over here. The back didn't come with that third bench. They like to steal that, so we just have a bunch of junk, ties and stuff back there in bags. That's Joe's department. This is not the paint. This is like the clear that they put on the paint that's peeling. We have the bike wax. I hate that Joe stripped off all the paint and didn't paint it. So now it's getting rusty. So this video really started off as a means for me to talk about how grateful I am for my vehicle. But then it turned into me teaching 2 tips that I learned when buying a car. Right? And now it's turning into I would never make a car payment again. Would you ever make a car payment again?
Nope.
Why?
Because as soon as you pay, you got to pay again. The month comes so fast, and
I know it seems like the 30 days goes
I
faster
heard
than
that.
the mortgage, right? And then when you're done paying for it, the car is a piece of crap.
well, for 5 years, I mean, these days, I mean, if you're poor, you got to go at least, what, 7 years to try to pay.
I don't think they do 7, 6. Okay, how would you buy like a newer car? Let's say you wanted to buy, we're in 2021 now. Let's say you wanted to buy like a 2019 car and you had the money to buy it. How would you purchase that car?
Well, I'll try the auction first.
Because they have new cars
Right,
now, right?
oh yeah. It's cheaper.
Don't
Yeah.
look at me, look at the lens.
It's cheap. At least you can pay at least a good $8,000 less.
Than brand new?
Than
So if you have like a 2020 Tahoe and it's $50,000 for the Tahoe, you can get it for how much at the auction?
about 35.
For real?
Yeah,
Okay.
about 35.
And why are those things at the auction? Because people lease them or something?
Yeah, because they lease them.
Like companies will lease them out for like a year or
Right,
something.
so you be pick it up maybe for about $25,000.
Okay, so what if I wanted like a 2010 Tahoe? I have a 2004 right now.
At the auction? About $8,000.
And that would have like maybe 150,000 miles.
150, 135.
Good condition.
Good condition.
So that's how we're gonna get another car, guys. We're gonna upgrade from this sooner or later, and that's how we'll get it. Now let's go back inside to finish up the video. I'm telling you guys, I am so grateful to have that car because when I finally drummed up enough money to buy it, I gave my money to a friend that I trusted to go to the auction and get me a Tahoe. And he borrowed some of my money without me knowing. Over one weekend, he had the money Thursday and Friday, didn't get the Tahoe. I told him I would pick up the money on Monday, and by the weekend, I don't know what he did with my money, but when we found this car and we were rushing to Chula Vista to pick it up, which is 2 hours away, he said he had majority of my money. He was supposed to have $3,500, and he said he had $3,000 out of my money. And when I got there, he only had $2,000 of my money. And so we had to borrow from Joshua. We drove all the way to Chula Vista at night, so this guy would know that we're not like, you know, playing games, that we really wanted to buy it. We checked out the vehicle. We loved it. We bought the vehicle, and we only had $40 left to come back home. Let me stop this thing from ringing. And oh, I can't stop it. And the guy was like, can I get that $40 because I smogged the vehicle? And so I didn't want to shortchange the guy because he did smog it, but he took 20 from the 40. We had $20 gas to get home on from Chula Vista in that big vehicle. Plus, you know, we had a second car that we took out there. We got home safely, and then it took us months to get that car in our name because the car was actually owned by some people in Arizona who gave it to their son who was in California doing college. And we had to go back and find the guy who sold us the vehicle because what he did was put radios and stuff in the vehicle, you know, sound system. And he traded his car for that Tahoe from the young man because the young man couldn't put gas in the vehicle no more to go to college. So we had to go find him. He took us to find the guy. And then the guy signed everything over to us, gave us the extra key, everything. And so we finally got it in our name after about 2 months of hell back in 2015. So I'm so grateful for this car. I don't know that we're going to paint it because it's going to cost more than what the vehicle is worth right now to paint it. So Joe says he's going to buy a paint thingy and just paint the hood. And it is what it is for right now, guys. But it has served its purpose. It doesn't give us any kind of trouble. It's towed Jada's vehicle home several times. Jada has a Buick Rendezvous, which is crap, by the way. And it's sad because Buicks are normally good cars, you know? And it's towed Jada in a parade, you know, pulled a whole trailer with Jada and a whole band in a parade. It's driven us to Northern California several times without failing. We took Jada back and forth from here to the beach 50 miles away. This car gives us no trouble at all, and I absolutely love it, and I'm so grateful to have it. So even though it's not a brand new car and it's not the most beautiful car, it is my car, and for that I'm grateful. And I hope that this video helps you guys understand what to do if you're going to buy a vehicle. If you're trying to decide, don't let the fact that you have an old cruddy car that's breaking down make you want to go make car payments, especially now in this time of this pandemic. All right, think it through. think it through. Hold on to your stimulus because we're probably not going to get any more. I love you guys for watching, and until the next video, bye. Thank you so much for making it all the way through to the end, guys. In case you didn't know, my primary channel is called The Bare Pantry Show and can be found right here on YouTube. Check below for the links. And also, I have 2 books for sale. And here they are. Check below to see how to purchase these. You can only get them from me. And don't buy that old book that I have on Amazon, okay? Thanks, guys.